So the G7 meeting here in Canada, I should have kept a closer eye on it as it was going on. I caught the play a little late. No wonder Trump left early. It was a mini Davos. It was a meeting of the World Economic Forum on the Canadian taxpayers' dime. Let's look at the core group, the G7 plus the EU. Canada, Carney, WEF. US, Trump, not. UK, Starmer, WEF. Germany, Merz, WEF. France, Macron, WEF. Italy, Melonia. Georgia, Melona. Sorry, whatever. Not WEF. Japan, Ishiba. He's a WEF member, believe it or not. EU, Representative Ursula von der Leyen, sits on the Board of Trustees at the WEF. Yeah, heads the EU Commission in Brussels. One of her hirelings, Charles Michel, was with her as well. So, out of the core group of 8, really, then in essence, 2 aren't WEF members. The guest nations, India, Ukraine, South Korea, Mexico, Brazil, South Africa, and Australia. India, Modi, WEF. Ukraine, the former comedian placed puppet. You know who I'm talking about. He's been at Davos every year ever since he was placed. So India, the Ukraine, Australia I suspect, but I don't have the goods. So we're going to leave it there. A G7 meeting, and now we're up to 15 nations. But here's where it really hits home. What are the heads of NATO, the UN, and the World Bank doing at a G7 member nation meeting? NATO, it was represented by Jens Stoltenberg, not Mark Rutte, who actually heads NATO. Mark Rutte, WEF, classmate of Justin Trudeau's 2005, former Prime Minister of the Netherlands for a long time. Jens Stoltenberg came instead. Well, he's WEF. You may have heard him speak at Davos many times. He's, fan of transhumanism and all that. And again, what's NATO doing there? Then we have the UN, the United Nations. Antonio Guterres sits on the Foundation Board and the Board of Trustees at the World Economic Forum. He ranks in the top, I'm going to say 4. I'll come to that in the summation. He's the architect of, the changing weather, you know what I mean? He actually chose Greta Greenthumb as the representative of that. Covered that in previous videos. Head of the World Bank, Ajay Banga. What's the president of the World Bank doing there? Ajay Banga in the top 4 in the World Economic Forum. Have you ever heard him speak at Davos? You should check it out. It'll make your blood run cold. He's not a nice guy. Not a nice sociopath. So it was a WEF meeting. That's what it was. I suspect that Trump just took a look around and said, well, you know what I think of you guys. He did take a chunk out of Merz there at dinner, with buying the Russian oil and gas, natural gas, energy. But anyways, he probably said, well, same as Davos, I come in, I express I'm not a globalist, I might as well leave now, goodbye. Maloney toughed it out and was very popular for it in the social media world outlook, if you will. Anyways, back to the summation. NATO, UN, the World Bank, the head of the IMF, the WHO, they're all WEF members and powerful ones. Again, Carney, Mark Carney, Antonio Guterres, Ajay Banga. I suspect that they're the top 3 now that old Klaus he's out of the picture, right? Because who sits on both boards? Carney, Guterres, Banga, Bill Gates, and George Soros. So now George Soros is pretty well out to pasture. He's as old as dust. And Bill Gates, a lot of money and a lot of clout, but he's getting on, and the money, well, the World Bank's got more money than Bill Gates. So they're pretty confident. They really are. It was an open display, was it not? Yeah.